Here are my 5 rules for your first A/B experiments. If you are just starting out with A/B testing, make sure that you follow those rules so you can achieve success and long-term effectiveness in your program. Hello everyone, this is Khalid with Invesp. This channel is all about helping you improve your site conversion rates so you can make more money online. Now we do that by sharing the best tips, strategies, and tools on how to do that. If you are new to the channel, I'd love for you to subscribe and of course like and comment on this video. Let's jump right into the 5 rules. Number 1, start small. You cannot imagine how many times I talk to companies who have not done any type of A/B testing and they plan to do very complicated A/B experiments to start with. Don't do that. You want to start crawling before you walk. What do I mean? Your goal in the first experiments is just to get a feel for A/B experimentation, to understand the process that it takes to launch a successful A/B experiment. And with your first A/B experiment, the process is a lot more important than the actual experiment or the results of that experiment. Since you are just starting with experimentation, don't go for bottom of the funnel pages. If you are an e-commerce website, please avoid running an experiment on the cart page or the checkout process. Why is that? Those pages have lots of complexities around them, and our goal is to avoid complexity as much as we can in our first A/B test. So in my first experiment, I might be just testing different headlines or different images. Don't worry, you will get to create a lot more complicated, a lot more sophisticated experiments, but later on. Number 2, run your experiment on a single page. Now, if you've been following this channel, you know that we love to run experiments on multiple pages. We're typically running experiments on product pages or collection pages. However, those experiments come with a lot of sophistication and a lot of complications. Again, your goal is just to launch the first experiment. So I might run an experiment on the homepage, or I might even run an experiment on the About Us page. My goal is just to, again, get a feel for the A/B testing software that I've selected, making sure that I'm able to run successful, meaningful experiments later on. Number 3, use a visual editor. Again, if you follow this channel, you know how much I do not like visual editors, and I think if you are serious about A/B testing, you will not be using visual editors in your experimentation program. The only exception is if you are just starting out. Last thing we want is to create an experiment where we have to rely on a front-end developer and wait for them to code the experiment. Our goal in the first 2 to 3 experiments is just to get a feel for experimentation. The only caveat to that is that you need to make sure after you created the experiment using the visual editor that the variation loads correctly and that the visual editor did not add a whole bunch of junk to your variation, that it did not slow down the actual variation from loading. If I'm using the visual editor to run an experiment on the homepage, I might remove a section, I might swap some images, or I might test different headlines. Number 4, make sure that the data is flowing correctly to the A/B testing software and from the A/B testing software to your analytics software. Remember, the A/B testing software should be tracking the number of visitors and conversions for the different goals for that experiment. And at the same time, the A/B testing software should be sending that data to your analytics solutions. So if you are using Google Analytics, you want to make sure that the A/B testing software is tagging and sending the experiment information to Google Analytics so you're able to slice and dice the data there. Number 5, don't worry about the results. The real power of A/B testing is in the hypothesis that you create and the results and the analysis of those results. However, if we are just starting out with A/B testing, I don't look at the results, I don't worry about them. My goal is to understand the process of launching an A/B test, the resources that are required, the actual plumbing of the A/B testing data to the A/B testing software, and from the A/B testing software to our analytics software. We will get to creating more sophisticated experiments that run across many pages. We will get into doing more sophisticated analysis, but that comes later on. Again, our goal is to crawl before we walk. With that, happy experimentation.